I've tried to make progress on. I don't know why, but I just this Mr. Beast video is driving me fucking crazy, and I can't seem to get the script right. And I think that it's always the same. I always run into this problem that like the script is really good, but it's not perfect, and it's never gonna be perfect. But again, it's I don't know. I know I could spend hours and hours and hours more on it, but it's just not. I don't know. And it's like anything that I do say. I've thought about it this way. So Jordan Peterson, I'm not gonna lie, I do like a lot of what Jordan Peterson says. I do think sometimes that his followers blindly follow him though, and I think that that's stupid. I think they need to hold him more accountable sometimes. But anyway, Jordan Peterson has this bit about chaos and order, right? And he has this bit about media and art being a theatrical display of chaos and order. Playing with one another, right? It's a segment of time where we get to witness chaos, chaos kind of like interact with order. He says, or I think it's Alan Watts who says, Alan Watts talks about how the point of music is to not play it as fast as possible, right? The point is that, the point is not to get to the end, right? He says that it's a metaphor for life, right? He says the point of music is not to play to get to the end, but it's what's in the middle that gives it meaning and value, right? So basically, he says that if the point of music was to get to the end, then the best music artists would be the ones that could play the fastest. The best musicians would play the songs the fastest. And obviously that has nothing to do with what makes a good musician, right? A good musician understands the intricacies and of how to craft a piece of art in a way that will elicit a response out of somebody, right? And I think it's the same thing when you're making anything, right? It's like I keep thinking about that, and it's like it's always subjective, right? Like these videos are subjective. So like what one person might think is the best video ever, the next person wouldn't, right? So basically, what I'm trying to do is trying to get the maximum amount of people to say this video is elicited a great response out of me. That's what I've been trying to do since the beginning of when I started to make videos, back when I was playing Pokemon. That's what it is how can I get the most amount of people to say that was impactful to me, right? Cool, how do you do that? Well, you instead of playing Pokemon, right, you talk about things that are more impactful. You talk about YouTube, things that I really, really like, things that have to do with greed, right? Pokemon is recreational, right? But if you play with greed, then you play with something that people want, right? I think about YouTube with greed, right? I think about having a lot of followers, and I think about making a lot of money. I don't only think about those things. I think about, all of the great things that it does too, but that is a huge part of that. And I think that other people think that way too. Maybe they don't frame it like that, but I think that that's part of them, right? Anyone who's wanted to be a YouTuber has made a video and put it out there and it's gotten no views, like they know that they think about that. And so, I don't know, when you make a video with that, about that, then people theoretically have a bigger response, and I think that that's true. So right now it's like, cool, I I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't think the details matter so much on this script that I'm writing, right? It's because, so basically it's like the so, okay, cool. The start of the video, end of the video. Let's say there's a string in the middle, right? I think right now I'm saying, what is the optimal point? What are the optimal points that I can, manipulate that string so that they make the most amount of people super impressed with what I'm doing? And it's like, you don't need to do that, right? The fact that you were... the fact that you decided to create this string in the first place is of itself what matters the most, right? And more than the content in the middle, the title and the thumbnail of the video matter so much, right? It doesn't need to be perfect, and it's not supposed to be perfect. And if it was perfect, it probably wouldn't be great, because the chaos and order, it wouldn't be very chaotic. It would just be order, right? So, I don't know. I think that that's really the best advice, right? It's like, you're not going to get it right, so do it badly. Do it badly, but do it, Show up and do it. And so that's what I'm working on. And I don't know. I'm working on this script, and it's coming. It's coming. I watched the marathon video that I made today, and I was kind of blown away. It was really good. I did a really good job on that video. And it just, it took so much of me, it took so much. And it's definitely not perfect. There are parts that, aren't good and are too long. And I fell in love with some shots that, it's like you could just not use that. I could have cut out so much at the beginning, and I didn't, and I should have. But I don't know. I look at that video and I think to myself, I think that I began to see again, this is more than a hobby for me, at least. I think it is. I think I gained some perspective on that, right? And it's cool, normal, or not every person is capable of producing that video. And it put into perspective for me where I am at in the story, right? I am on the... If we're in the story mountain, I'm at the very beginning of the rising action, or I'm not at the beginning of the rising action. That's not true. That's not true at all. I am at the if the rising action is divided into fourths, I am at the first quarter. I'm early on. I'm early on in the process, but I'm in the process, and I have developed skills, and they're not refined. They're kind of refined. They're not... I don't know. I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's a competent filmmaker that could do anything. And as long as he just does one thing that he loves, he will be successful. And that made me feel good to think that about myself. Made me feel really fucking good, because that's what I've wanted to be. I think when I first started, I didn't realize how much of myself it was going to take. It's going to take all of you, everything you have, and you're going to be frustrated, and literally you just need to pour hours of your life into it. There's no secret I'm figuring out. There's no fucking secret. The secret is just put so much time into these things, and maybe you can get better. Like, that's the secret. The secret is dump every available minute that you have to either think about this thing or to actually work on it. And there's no easy way. There's no key. There's no secret, right? It's dump all of your time and energy into it. I don't know. Those are some thoughts.